Oh, good. You're finally here. Certainly kept the suspense going. Stay right there. We shall be with you shortly, and once we're there, we'll turn your form into something more palatable. More arms, we think. More legs. The eyes come out. Stay right there.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. Alright, let's look at the hint for this room. If this place were a mind, it would not be pure. The answer to the path ahead is embedded in a column of red flesh. I happen to know that that is right here. It is in such a confusing place. That key. That key is the bane of my existence. Not really. Anyway, it leads in here, where we can flip this around. And now we look at these. So that's 8, 4, 3, 1. Nothing readable there. Nothing readable on like any of these tables. Except this one, I guess. Oh. It seems pure, but there are cracks, memories of others' misdeeds, of evil committed. There are recurring themes in each memory, and one that is alone. The numbers will open your path back. So that is 8, 4, 3, 1. You little shit. Like you hadn't done enough already. Now I'm trapped here, damned to repeat this shit like I'm a goddamn tape recorder. If you had an ounce of remorse, you'd dash your brains out on the nearest wall. He was never much good at forming connections with people, and this time wasn't any different. That woman had walked into his life, spent a night and a half with him, and recognized him for what he was, an empty, half-formed piece of sentient scum. Naturally, he took eons more from their brief tryst than she ever intended, spent days upon days, picking their every second together apart, thinking about what he could have done differently. Not once did he even consider what he should have known in the first place, that there wasn't anything to him. He was person enough to himself, let alone another. Alright, so now we can go here. I'm not going to read all of the numbered notes in this room, only the important one. Joy of the recluse. Of his 5 fingers, he lost 2, only 3 remained. Without the first, he would have been an animal. Without the second, he could no longer condemn. And without his final remaining finger, his hand would look a little strange. Okay, and somewhere here there's a cabinet. I think it's over here. Yeah, it is. Yeah, you little bastard, this is what things look like. Here, anyway. I've spent a lot of time in this hellhole, and I'd be willing to bet if you dug up the floorboards anywhere, this is what you'd find. Eyes, pulsating flesh, red guts, blood. That's what I think. I think this is all there is. A place like this, without cease, couldn't exist on its own. An empty nothingness? No. If it's going to make up all this space, it's going to contain so much knowledge, Is it so far-fetched that something might have changed in its makeup, that it might have come alive? Forget it. I can see you already have your own beliefs. Well, maybe you're right, maybe I'm wrong. It doesn't goddamn matter. This room is a trap. Must be. Those tables with the notes weren't here until earlier. I can't say when, but I think they came for you. Serves you right. I know you're kind. But if it'll help you get the hell out of my room, well, it's a test, too. Christ, I can still see your slack-jawed expression. Fine, I will give you not one, but 2 whole hints. Even a damn fool like you should be able to use them. 1, the librarian would like to give you a hand. 2, the flesh in that safe does not operate like its predecessor. Okay, we should have all the tablets now. I think. One, 2, 5. I know more than the others, but I won't tell you. He spent too much time alone, thinking, and that accelerated his downfall. A terrible thing befell the woman he claimed to have loved. It consumed him, consumed his every waking moment, whether or not he had been loved back. The depression lost him his job and his home, turning a sad wreck of a human being into a sadder, hollower thing. His focus, his obsession, never strayed. She was gone from his life, and as far as he was concerned, that was all that mattered. Even when a family member took him in and sheltered him, he all but ignored them. So enwrapped with himself was he. Damn. Unfortunate for him. Okay. And now we go down this hole. And we can deliver the cabinet. There's also a card holder in the other room that I have to get, but I'll jump to when I've got that. There we go. And then the final hole is over here. All right. Don't listen to them if you can help it. You and me, we're birds of a feather, I can tell. Better to pull the covers over your head and cover your ears, in case you hear something you don't wanna. Sit down and let the inevitable wash over you. I'd take this fate to turning into one of those husks. Ugh, gives me shivers. Alright, so... it's...
Everything is
fine.
fine and nothing. You just
Never mind that. That's not correct.
can stop.
Okay, hold on, I got it.
Everything fine
Can harm you.
you
Just stop thinking.
stop.
Play dumb all you like. The librarian already knows your body, inside and out. He spent all of his time searching and eventually found his goal. There are places, even in the digital world, where things not meant for mortal eyes lurk. He caught only the slightest glimpse of such a place, and it was enough. The eyes of the librarian were upon him. From that point forward, what happened was destined to happen, and worst of all, he would never find the knowledge he sought. Maybe it's better that way. Okay, and now we can take the watch. But before we deliver the watch, we're going to read what's in that other room. Where's that other room? It's down here. No, it isn't. It's all the way over here. Great. could have gotten here sooner. Oh well. Right, like I said, before we put this watch down, we're going to read what's in here. Well, isn't this place a wreck? If I lived someplace as disorganized as here, I'd think it'd be a matter of time before I was swallowed up by all the trash. I like the staircases, though. They're a nice touch. You're probably wondering what needs to be done here. I think, deep down, you already know. Since you're so inclined to play dumb, though, I'll give you a hint. It'd be a lot easier to get around here if you could organize everything somehow. Yes, and that's where we give this. I knew you'd come. Very well, I'll speak. He was always inclined towards solitude. Not that he had any choice in the matter. In fact, if he had, perhaps solitude would not have been his lot, but he was terrible with words, worse with speaking. It wasn't so much a matter of laughter at his expense. It was merely a curiosity, an ingrown, strange thing, vaguely uncomfortable but otherwise without note. There was one exception to this lonely existence. As he aged, he found himself in the position of an archivist, surrounded only by dust, dead things, dead words. Though he had grown used to the solitude, he hated it with a burning, quiet passion. Thus, when a graduate student about his age came to plumb the dry and dead things, he forced himself to strike up conversation with her. To his delight, she returned his words, and for the first time in ages he felt his heart beat a little faster. Oh, isn't that nice? Oh boy. Here we go. He was aware enough to be jealous. Though she rebuked his advances, though she suggested the two of them never see each other again, it was, of course, not enough for him. He would come by daily, nightly. When she locked the door, he would continue to bang on it. When she called the police, he still found ways to watch from afar. Until one night, that is, when he watched an unknown, foreign shape enter her abode. Though he could only barely make the silhouette out, he could tell it was a man, and that was enough to send him into a rage. The authorities arrived too late on scene to save anyone, though the fire was contained. The victims died of smoke inhalation. Somehow, they hadn't been able to open the front door. The screwdriver keeping it jammed was no longer at the scene of the crime, of course. When I next opened my eyes, I found myself on an empty road in a desolate place. There was a faint ephemeral quality to everything. It didn't fill me with confidence. In the back of my head, I felt a thought burn, like a fallen ember from the end of a cigarette. Was I free, or was I still trapped within the library's vast expanse? How could I tell, even if I arrived home and everything was as it had been? How could I know if the librarian's voice wouldn't just be on the other side of every door, of every window, forever? I guess it doesn't matter either way. At the end of everything, I never found what I'd come to the library to gain. For the rest of my life, I think, I'd find myself wondering just what it was that I missed. Perhaps the failure was a blessing, empty as I found myself left. Perhaps there was something even worse waiting for me, if only I'd looked a little deeper. But I doubt it. And that is the normal end of A Place Forbidden. I will be finding the secret end next video, as well as going over some of the stories and books that I missed. Thank you for joining me on this journey, and I'll see you in the next video.